I want to say good evening, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you're watching me from. I remain your host, Dr. Victor Ekieno, and tonight, because in Nigeria is actually night, I shall be talking about acting, acting school. It's actually an acting school. So um, we shall be looking at different topics as it relates to acting career. All right. Some people say that uh, there's no need to study acting. That is their own notion. That's their own belief that acting don't need to be studied. So I wouldn't know about your own belief concerning acting, but I know too well that for anything that you must do well, you must start by learning. You can't just wake up one day and you feel like becoming a medical doctor only for you to carry strings and needle, and you want to probably give someone an injection. The result will be very uh, catastrophic. The same thing goes for acting. Okay, acting is a professional thing that needs to be studied. So today we shall be looking at emotional reality as part of acting. Emotional reality. You cannot act convincingly, you cannot act beautifully, you cannot prevail in the career of acting without emotion. Emotion is that storehouse, all right, of feelings, that thing that makes you stand out, that makes you shout, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you react over a situation. Okay, emotional reality. How real is your emotion? There are some persons whose emotion are sarcastical. All right, their emotion are not real. You just notice that they just do things because they want to do, but they are not really real. Yeah, Shirley, good to hear from you. All right. Now, for you to prevail in acting, you must always add your emotion. Your emotion. Emotion is what motivates you to bring out the best. There are some persons that cannot cry naturally, while others do it effortlessly. I do a crying scene effortlessly. Right? Hold on. Yeah, good to hear from you. Right? So I do it effortlessly. I cry effortlessly. So tonight I shall be talking on an aspect of acting that is known as emotional reality. Emotional reality. All right? Where you add emotion for everything you do. Everything you do. Meanwhile, without emotion, you cannot interpret the line convincingly the way it ought to be. So for everything you do, you must add emotion. For instance, if I say, stop looking at me, all right, that's the line. Stop looking at me. And another way, and I say, stop looking at me. Then the third one, I could say it this way: stop looking at me. You understand? My emotion is what motivates my viewers. My emotion is what interprets the role. How do I emotionally attach to my lines? You understand? So emotion is one storehouse, is one key aspect of professional acting. You understand? We believe as professionals that the script is dead until until the actor starts saying a word, starts saying something. So you speak life into the script. The script on its own is dead until the actor gives it life. So I shall be teaching you on how to give life to a script. Number one is not by shout. Some people believe that when they shout, that is when they project the role, they interpret the role very well. No, there are some roles that are not shoutable. There are some roles that you need to take it piecemeal. Do you understand? You take it piecemeal. And by so doing, you will interpret the role very well. But hence your emotion, you take your mind back to any sad situation, that you had experienced in the past. So when you remember what had happened in the past, then you imagine that is happening now. So that imagination now, you understand, and that emotional attachment of what had happened, a sad event that had happened in the past, you just notice that tears will be gushing out of your eyes. Do you understand? Okay, for instance, I happened to train a girl, pick the girl from the gutter, so to speak. They are not from well-to-do background. So I picked the girl, the damsel, and I trained her to the level of the university. And now she is a graduate, and she doesn't want to marry me. And I keep insisting. At the end of it all, She married me. We just barely consummated the marriage, only for her to be cheating on me. Her eyes elsewhere. And you want me to act that role? First thing first, I'll look at her and say, how could you? How could you do a thing like this to me? For all my efforts, all my contribution to your life, have you forgotten that I trained you, picked you from the trash, and I gave your life a meaning? Is this how you want to pay me back? Do you understand? Now, my emotion is what will really motivate me to bring out the reality of my feelings, how I feel. I feel like shedding tears. All right? I just feel like shedding tears, but please don't push me to. So it's what motivates me, that makes me to uh, bring out the reality of the situation. Do you understand? So emotional reality is one key aspect of professional acting. Emotional reality, where you make everything look so real, so real. And when you start giving your lines, some people rush their lines. Rushing lines is not the right thing to do. You can break it into segments. You segmentalize your lines. When I say lines, I'm referring to the dialogue in the script. Do you understand? You can segmentalize it. Then instead of saying, come here, my friend, you can say, come, my friend. All right? Come, my friend. Or let's still use the word, come here, my friend. I can say, come here, my friend. Do you understand? Now, in the case where I say, my friend, come here, my friend, come here. You understand? Depending on my mood and depending on the situation. Now, I cannot actually see a situation, a dicey situation, where I'm supposed to say, come here, my friend. And I say, come here, my friend. You understand? That will only serve for a romantic scene. Like I say, come, my friend. Come. Do you understand? Now, it brings out the reality of the situation, the reality of your acting. All right? So some people actually forget that every story has a rhythm. You understand? The rhythm is the heartbeat of the story. The rhythm. Once there is a stoppage of the human heart, the human being is dead. You understand? But in a case whereby the heart is beating, that's where you can say Mr. A is alive or Mr. B is alive. So a literary script, do you understand, is dead until the actor starts giving it life. How did the actor gives a dead script life? By saying, as in the dialogue. By the time the character In each scene starts talking. Do you understand? For instance, say, good morning to you. He said, oh, good morning, my friend. How are you? I said, I'm fine. And you? So I was last night. He said, last night. My 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 night was rough. Ah, what happened? Ah, my little baby wouldn't let me sleep and all that. Now, you see that is a give and take, a give and take. Do you understand? And by so doing, you flow, you flow. You understand? There are other school of thought who believe that although the actors have not rendered a word, the script is alive. You understand? Yes, I can actually accept that school of thought based on the fact that yes, those lines may be cold, but the fact remains as you pick it and you start reading it, you give it life. You understand? So is the rhythm. Every scene has its own rhythm. Some scripts or some scenes, okay, have fast pace. Do you understand? A case where there is a rape scene, you don't expect the pace to be slow. If the pace is slow, then the essence is defeated. Do you understand? For a rape scene, just like a murder scene, you understand? You don't expect the pace to be slow. Just like a robbery scene, you understand? You don't expect the pace to be slow. You definitely see where characters are dragging each other. You understand? Pulling each other, cocking of the guns. You understand? Shouting, sit here, and all that. Do you understand? By so doing, you make the scene engaging. You make the scene engaging so that during post production, or by the time the entire work is done, people can rewind over and over again. But that's why I said each scene has its own rhythm, it has its own heartbeat. You understand? Now, a romantic scene, okay, is actually a slow paced scene. A slow pace. You understand? Where you say, I love you. You say, I love you too. They say, ah, but you've not been showing it. Oh, it's because you've not been observing it. They say, are you serious? So you mean all this while you've been loving me? Of course. From the first day I set my eyes on you, I just fell in love with you. Someone sweeping me off balance. Do you understand? With these, you understand, that's the pace. The give and the take. The give and the take. So a script has rhythm. The rhythm is the heartbeat of the script, of the story. Do you understand? Now we've talked about emotional reality. You understand that there's no how you interpret a role without attaching self, your emotion, how you feel. You understand? Your inner being. You must attach it for you to be able to interpret your role very well. Then we also talked about the rhythm. You understand? The rhythm is the beats, that pace, that of each script. That is the rhythm. You understand? Then we talk about conflict. Conflict is drama. Conflict is what motivates a story. It's what drives a story. Conflict drives a story. Do you understand? Drives a story. In fact, if there's no conflict, there's no drama. Do you understand? If there's no conflict, there's no drama. Because conflict is that motivating factor that holds the audience. You understand? Now, in a case whereby I see a character and I say, just bet me. The next time you see me again, I will bring you down. And the other character say, you won't do anything. Say, what did you say? I won't do anything. Say, you won't do anything. Okay, watch out for me. You say the other character B will say, you watch out for me. You understand? And they go in their separate ways. That is conflict. That is conflict. You understand? And that will make audience wanting to see what will happen next. And probably imagine a case whereby the both parties now meet themselves at the crossroad where there are no houses. Do you understand? They just walk and meet themselves suddenly. You understand? The next thing that comes to the head of the audience is ganga. let's see what will happen here. Do you understand? And peradventure, if you want to sustain this conflict, you might just have them or the suspense. You might have the two just pass looking at each other like this as they walk past, and as they go not far away from each other. And it was like, why did I let this man slip off my hand? Couldn't have killed him now. And B is like, I feel like shooting him. I feel like shooting him down. Do you understand? I say, okay, another day. Do you understand? And B is also saying another day. When I run into him alone on a lonely path like this, I'm going to annihilate him. You understand? This is what we call cliffhanging. You are hanging the audience. You are keeping the audience on suspense. Do you understand? You are building the conflict and you are also keeping the audience on suspense. So we call it professionally cliff hanging, hanging them. Now they are desiring to see more. Then the next scene, you have these two characters meet again, and this time around, character A say, "I have been waiting for you," and character B say, "I am here. Do whatever you want to do." You say, "My dear, don't push me. Don't push me, because today I will make sure that I so deal with you." You understand? And character is like, "Stop talking. You talk too much. Whatever I want to do, go ahead and do it." And brings out his gun and cocks it and say, "Utter one more word, I will terminate you. I will finish you." Now, that is conflict. That is conflict. And in that process, maybe a superior character, so to speak, probably the parent of character A, just comes and say, "What is happening here between the both of you? Why this agreement?" And the guy that had wanted to shoot say, "You are lucky my dad just came in. Don't worry. I will revisit this matter some other time." And he walks away. Still building cliffhanging. You understand? You're still building the suspense. You understand? That's how you keep projecting. That's how you keep projecting. I tell you the truth. You will project that till the end of the story. At the end of the story, it could just be that these two characters will clash. You understand? You know, the peak of every action is what we call the climax. The peak. You understand? And after the climax, it is expected that the story should have an epilogue. Do you understand? Where it's ended. But if you drag it too much, it becomes an anti-climax. An anti-climax is the dragging of climax. The dragging, because after climax, we're supposed to have a resolution. Okay, another word for resolution is denouement. You understand? We're supposed to have a denouement. Do you understand? But because character A, or probably the director did not manage it very well, you will now have an anti-climax. Anti-climax weakens the climax. It's anti-climax. It's against climax. Do you understand? So we've talked about emotional reality, we've talked about reading, and we've also talked about climax or conflict. Conflict is actually the foundation of drama. If there's no conflict, there's no drama. Any story, no matter how sweet the story is told, no matter how beautiful the story is written, if there are no conflicts, no drama. Because conflict is what motivates viewership. Conflict is what motivates viewership for every story. Now, some persons might say, let's build the story to a certain level before we talk about conflict. No, do you know that for a minute you can build? Okay, okay, good. Thank you so much. We're back. Sorry for that interruption. Just had a call. Do you understand? You walk up to someone. That was the illustration I'm trying to make. And you tell the character A now telling character B, "I have been looking for you." And character B say, "Oh, I have also been looking for you." It's okay. Let's have it here now. That's from character A. And character B say, "What are we waiting for? Come on. I will prove to you that I have killed so many people in my lifetime." And character B will say, "Let me tell you, whatever you intend to do, let's do it now." And suddenly, they point gun at each other. as a pointing gun at each other. And the other one say, character A says, I don't want to kill you now. I'll kill you tomorrow. And character B says, I have wanted to tell you that I intended killing you tomorrow. All right, not today. So I'll see you tomorrow. The first thing I'll do tomorrow morning is to annihilate you. It's okay, may the day break. And character B says, may it break, and they walk away. That is actually conflict. You've already built what we call dramatic action. Dramatic action is a clash of forces. I repeat, dramatic action in film, in drama, whatever story is a clash of forces. Character number one is a force. Character number two is a force. So the clashing of two forces is what we call dramatic action. You understand? You remember there is a ton of events. You understand? Dramatic turn of events. But this one I'm talking about dramatic action. So back to conflict. Conflict. You understand? In writing a story. Today is not for story writing and no other script writing. Today is for acting. So in crafting your story, you understand, you should always include that conflict. And probably when you pick a script, first thing first, consider what the actor or the playwright had written. Then look at the conflict. How do you interpret the conflict? You understand, the conflict is what motivates viewership. The conflict. You understand? Then we go into suspense. Suspense is another beautiful ingredient. It might not be originally there, but you can impute it yourself. It's something you can build yourself. You understand? Now, you may be asking how. From the lines itself, when you break a line into beats, you understand? The space in between one line to another is a suspense. It's a suspense. Do you understand? So a good character knows how to break lines, how to segment lines. You understand? To create suspense. These days, you watch a story, you have already known the end of it. You understand? That is void of suspense. That's void of suspense. Suspense is what suspends you as a viewer. It suspends you, it holds you bound to make sure you keep watching the story. You understand, as the story unfolds. You understand? And in doing that, you must know how to use your body and your voice. Your body and your voice. These are tools of an actor: the body, the voice, and the soul. The soul must be completely wrapped up in the storytelling. The body, the flesh, must be flexible. The flexibility of an actor is one thing that is very key. Flexibility in terms of the body's structure, with flexibility in terms of characterization. And your voice. You can undulate your voice. You can play with your voice. The voice can actually give you about 38. You understand? Sounds, different modulations. You understand? So that is acting. Acting is paramount. Whether you accept that you are an actor or not, the fact remains we act every day. Every day. You understand? We act every day in one capacity or the other. The difference between the happenstance and the real life is that the real life is arranged, is organized. Why happenstance is something that just is real life. It's real life. You understand? You bump into someone and you say, ah, my friend, it's been a long time. You say, Jesus, you stay here? You say, yes, I live around here. Wow, good to see you. Can I see your house? That is a happenstance. Why? For the film is coordinated. You had already known as an actor that in so sport you are going to meet so person. You understand? That is an arranged acting. All right. So on this note, let's now go back to looking on what to do to improve our role as actors. Now, there's something Josephine, Josephine, please drop your message. I am having a meeting online, please. You see? Just drop it. I will give you that. All right. Sorry for that. So, um, I talking about acting. Acting is not an all-comers thing. People believe that acting is very easy. It's not just to stand before camera and have the camera pan on you, video you, and just do your talking and all that. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. You must be trained. You must be trained to act convincingly. You must be trained to act professionally. You must be trained to articulate your lines. The lines is actually what we call it in a professional term, while other amateurs call it the words. You understand? We call it lines. You must train to know the value of costume. The costume, use costume to depict season, you use costume to depict a character. You use costume, oh God, for interpretation. Use your costume for interpretation. So you must know the value of costume. Then you also need to know the value of the makeup. You understand? You need to know the value of makeup. The body language gesticulation is for more interpretation of what you're saying. You need to know the difference between acting for the stage, radio, and film. Do you understand? So these are the things Broadway Production Limited teaches. You understand? Broadway Production Limited is an entertainment outfit that trains students on professional acting, professional directing, professional script writing, cinematography, makeup. You understand? So one of the things we do in Broadway production limited is acting. You understand? And this period, I am just taking on acting. Acting. The other day I talked about acting for believability. I feel I should just give it a recap again to let us know that every story has its purpose, and every story breathe. The story breathe, and how to get to know that story is breathing is when the characters start talking, and how to uh, understand a script. Talked about acting for believability. That from the very day you cite the story, okay, the stories come with caption. You understand? Like these days, people hide captions so that it will not be stolen. So once you pick a professional script, go through the script, you understand, read it and over again, understand the subtext of the script, all right, the script analysis, do script evaluation, go through the lines over again, look at the structure of the script. You understand the structure of the script are those descriptions, those directions you will say. They say, okay, thank you so much. We'll come to the end of this. God bless you. Bye bye.